Well, hello all you YouTubers out there. Here I am again. This is actually the first video that I've ever tried to make on YouTube. I'm going to take these glasses and find out why I'm getting all this glare. Imagine it's because I'm looking at the screen instead of up here at the camera. Well, that isn't working either. Anyways, what I'm here to talk about is the baby boomers and the people older than the baby boomers. Are you ever been, how am I going to put this? Have you ever wondered why we pay insurance for everything? Think about it. There's nothing you can do without insurance. You can't, well, actually you can't be born without insurance. That would probably come under medical insurance. Then when you're born, you're going to have insurance to live somewhere. That would probably come under homeowners insurance. And if you're progressing along here, you're going to have more insurance just to live in this society. You're going to have, if you rent an apartment, for example, you're going to have renter's insurance. And if you're going to be driving, you got to have automobile insurance. And if you're going to want to go out on your boat, if you decide to have a boat, you're going to have boater's insurance and motorcycle insurance. And if you go into business, you're going to have more insurance. You're probably going to have liability, which is basically $1 million figure they place on it. Liability insurance. You're also going to have let's say workers' comp insurance. Workers' comp insurance is to help the people that get injured while they're working for you. I mean, if a guy goes out and stubs his toe, he can file a workers' comp claim and lay around for 6 months or so, maybe longer. Get permanent disability. That's workers' comp insurance. And if you wanted to also get into business for yourself, they may want you to buy a surety bond. A surety bond is something I can't quite understand. If you're having all this other insurance, why do you need to have a surety bond? But that's something they're going to make you buy. Also, you look into other kinds of insurance. If you're buying a house, they're going to want you to buy private mortgage insurance. That's basically to protect the bank in case your credit all of a sudden goes south. And of course, these credit reporting agencies, the three major ones, they all work for the banks. The banks are protected by this private mortgage insurance. And people think if they're going to get foreclosed on, they'll, screw the banks. Well, the banks aren't getting screwed. They just turn this over to the PMI insurance that you're paying for to protect them from people that fail to make their house payments. And when they move out, the bank just takes the property back, cleans it up, fixes it up, polishes it up, sells it for any ridiculous amount that they feel they can get out of it. And of course, everything goes against your your credit through these bank reporting agencies. Like, what is it, Experian, Equifax or something like that? There's another one, can't think of it. But anyways, we're insurance poor in this country. I mean, I imagine when you're watching television, count how many commercials are selling insurance. Insurance, insurance, insurance. I mean, they've got little animated geckos, whatever they are, selling insurance. They've got animated General selling insurance. They got a dizzy brunette dressed in a white sterile uniform selling insurance. And it's all making these big major companies billions and billions and billions of dollars. Now I read in the paper that everybody that hasn't purchased medical insurance through Obamacare, they could be subject to arrest and possibly going to court and being fined for not having insurance. I don't know where this all started from, but when I was born over 70 years ago, they didn't have all this insurance. You had to buy car insurance or automobile insurance, and it was relatively inexpensive. But now it's actually costs more for insurance than a lot of car payments. Let's face it, us baby boomers, the older you get, the higher your rates are. Now, I've been out there driving for quite a few years, and I've never had an accident or a citation, never had a license suspension, and I've always had insurance. And now my insurance is costing me close to $200 a month. And I've checked around, and I said, why is my insurance so high? Well, there's such a thing as, well, they can't discriminate against you because of race, religion, age. Well, I think there's a little bit of age discrepancy there. They think us old baby boomers are a hazard to the roads. Well, statistics prove that old people are probably the least risk compared to a lot of young people. When you're a young person starting out, you're a risk and your insurance is high. Well, when you're an old person, your insurance is higher than it is amongst every other age group. I think they just want to force everybody to get out from behind the wheel and walk wherever they can do, or maybe take public transit. It's kind of hard to do these days. In the old days, you really didn't need a car if you want to think about it. You could go to the corner grocery store and buy your groceries. You could go to the neighborhood, well, how would I say this? It wasn't big Walmarts back in those days, and there wasn't all these big box stores. You could go to, well, let's say Sears. Sears was been around, or Woolworths, places like that, and buy yourself your necessities. I'm kind of stumbling around here for words, but like I said, this is I'm just free-handing it right now. Excuse me. Got a cough. I'm glad I got health insurance. The other insurances that you're stuck with, like you go to your doctor, and most insurance doesn't pay for everything. You got to pay your doctor a co-pay just to be able to sit in his waiting room, his or her waiting room, waiting for your 11 o'clock at an appointment. And you get there 15-20 minutes early, and they transfer you after about half hour, 45 minutes past your appointment to another little cubicle, and you sit in that little cubicle for about another half hour, 45 minutes, and then you finally get to see your doctor, who's basically a prescription writer or a referral specialist. What I mean by that is they'll send you over to a specialist for what might be ailing you. But you can't go to the specialist unless your family doctor refers you to one. So you go to him and you pay yourself another co-pay. You might end up having to go to a couple other places, and you have to pay through the nose. So you young people up and coming, think about it. Social Security, well, they say it's not going to be around forever, but I'll get into that subject at a later video. But right now we're talking about insurance. Another thing your insurance companies do, if you could find a better rate, let's say for example, you're paying an outrageous rate each month, and you find a company that could probably give it to you for 30, 40, 50 bucks cheaper a month. Well, you'd be silly not to take the insurance. If it was up to me, I wouldn't even buy insurance, but insurance lobbyists got the government to make it a law that you have to have insurance. It's mandatory, or you could go to jail. Well, if you cancel your insurance and go with another insurance company, and you haven't missed a payment and there wasn't a lapse, you don't want your insurance to lapse. That's another thing they emphasize. The DMV can cancel your driving privileges, your driver's license, without even notifying you. And the way they do that is your insurance company that you dropped calls the DMV in your local state or area and informs them that you're no longer insured by their company, which basically the DMV thinks you're operating a motor vehicle without insurance. And they have done this, and I know it for a fact because they did it to me. I was actually driving for about 3 months, even though I had insurance. I was driving on a suspended driver's license. The DMV, and this happened in Nevada, took it upon themselves to cancel my driver's license, and I didn't even know it. Luckily, I was never stopped. Let's think about that. If I was stopped, of course, they can run a check on you and they'll say, you know, you're driving on a suspended driver's license. And right away, they tow your vehicle. They could possibly put you in jail, because that is a violation. And it's up to you to prove that, you know, you don't have a suspended license. Well, the way I found out about it was you have to renew your license every 4 years. And when I went into the DMV, they said, you know, your license has been suspended for about 4 months. And I says, excuse me, what are you talking about? And they explained that the insurance, was canceled, and we don't have proof of insurance. And if you're driving without insurance, your license will be suspended. Well, I never had a lapse in my insurance, but it was up to me to prove that I was fully insured without a gap, and I had to get all my paperwork, take it back to the DMV, sit in the line for about an hour and a half, and go up there and show them all the credentials. And they said, well, we're sorry for the inconvenience. Your license will reinstate it. Well, I was a little upset, thinking what would have happened because you're sorry for the inconvenience. But all it was the insurance companies are working hand in hand with the DMV, and it's a dirty little trick that's probably happened to a lot of people. And even if you did cancel your insurance, let's say you weren't going to drive your vehicle for whatever reason, maybe you just had eye surgery or something, and you felt, well, I don't need to have insurance, I'm not going to drive for a couple, 3 months. Why should you have to have insurance if you're not driving a vehicle? And then when you want to reinstate your insurance, you can go ahead and start your insurance again. But it doesn't work that way. They penalize you. Like I said, if everybody in this country would start looking into the insurance industries and how they're crippling this country and how they're making billions and trillions of dollars off of everybody that lives in this country, because they have insurance for everything you need. I mean, think about it. Look at all of the insurance that you need just to get up every day. I can go on and on and on about the insurance industry, but unfortunately you're stuck with it, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it as long as the insurance companies own the politicians. And I'll tell you, the politicians are really living healthy off the insurance companies. They get wined and dined and treated like royalty, and I can understand why. I mean, they passed the laws. The insurance company says we want to make it mandatory that everybody in this country has to have insurance to drive a vehicle. It used to be called financial responsibility. If you're say, for example, you own a vehicle, and let's say we all started out at one time with an old puddle jumper, second-hand vehicle. As long as you were able to pay for damage if you're at fault in an accident, This is back in the 50s and 60s. They called it financial responsibility. As long as you could take care of the other person's vehicle and medical bills, depends on how serious an accident you may be charged with. If you had the money to pay for their property damage and medical expenses, you didn't need insurance. You paid it. You didn't go out and get sued. People didn't sue people because they all of a sudden had insurance pains after a minor bump in the rear bumper with no damage. You know what I'm talking about. I'm going to call my lawyer, and then I'm going to call the hospital to get me an ambulance, and I got to get a hold of my attorney. And of course, the attorney says, "Wow, we're going to make you a lot of money." Of course, I'm going to get on attorneys in another video. Those bloodsuckers are behind a lot of this insurance pains that people suffer. So it's almost impossible for anybody now to have financial responsibility, because they're going to get sued for $1 million and probably not be able to pay for it and end up being indebted to this party that suffered some minor insurance pain. But we'll get into that at a later date. Anyways, I think you get my drift. I think you gotta understand that we don't have a damn thing to say about what goes on in this country anymore. And they says go out and vote. Well, who are you voting for? I mean, let's face it. I mean, both parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, they're all bought by the big insurance companies and other major corporations that needs something in their favor. And let's face it, the oil companies are another subject I am going to get on at another video. It's pretty bad when you're a captivated audience and you don't have anything to say about the high price of insurance. You either purchase it or quit driving. And I don't think it should be that way. So, right now, like I said, this is the first time I've ever put anything on YouTube, and I don't even know if I'm going to be able to put this on YouTube, because I don't know how to download these things. I have to sit here and play with it and everything, but I'm going to review this. I want to apologize for the glare on my glasses. I imagine I could take them off, but my eyes are a little blurry when I can't see. That's another thing. When you're up here in the over 70, I guess you shouldn't be driving if you can't see, but put these little peepers on, I can see again. But now I got all that glare. Anyways, I wanna see what this sounds like, and if it doesn't sound too bad or look too bad, I might download this and see if I can do some adjusting on this glare, and if it downloads alright. And I don't know what, if you like it or if you don't like it. I'm not too sure what all that's about. I imagine if you like it, I guess some of these YouTubers that place videos out there get some kind of compensation if they get a lot of hits and people want to hear their videos. But this is just a little, let's say maybe, what's the old saying, you want some cheese with your wine, or you want some wine, you know. I'm not whining, I'm just venting a little bit. Until later, my name's Bob, and you can, I don't know if there's a thumbs up or anything that'll be on there. If you think this video's helpful in any way, give me a thumbs up. You know, like I said, I gotta figure out how to do all that. So until then, have a happy new year. This is actually right now December 30th. New Year's Eve. All you party animals out there driving, you better have your insurance. Till then, have a good one. And God bless you.